Hey guys, welcome to WatchMojo.com. It's Pascal here, and today we're going to be talking about Momzillas. This is the first solo effort from Jill Kargman. See, obviously from the title you can tell it's about a mom, but instead of it being about a bridezilla, there's a term called Momzillas, and we're going to learn a little bit about what that's all about. Can't wait to speak to the author and see what she has to say. Check it out.
A momzilla is a kind of type A controlling mother who's kind of a helicopter mom who wants to pull the marionette strings on her child and kind of uses the kid as a pawn or accessory to reflect on them. So New York has a lot of them because I think there are a lot of very type A ambitious people that gravitate to New York, and in the absence of their career, you know, a lot of women quit their jobs and it's the best day of their lives and they never look back. This book is not about those people. These are people who quit their jobs and suddenly all of that energy and drive and ambition, it doesn't just evaporate, it gets channeled into the child. So the result is like way too many classes and just being psycho about having like the perfect greatest kid.
So if you can give us a little picture of what the world of the main character is like in the book.
Sure. Hannah moves to New York from San Francisco, which is like a little more laid back, but one of the lessons she learns is that every city has a momzilla. It's just that the barometer changes of what's important. But she comes from a group of friends that are very relaxed there, and when she's thrust into this New York world because of her husband's job, she moves for her husband, and she's sort of transportable because she's, you know, basically an educated but stay-at-home mom. So she's thrown into this world of the momzillas. So she's not one, but she's kind of cut and pasted into the hotbed of all of them. Into the scene. And one of the things she learns sort of, you know, she also learns about herself and her marriage, and you know, it's a real journey, but one of the things she learns is that at the end of the day, there is no scene. Like, it's there, but you can avoid it. You can pull yourself out of it and be a loner mom. You don't have to subscribe to all of these rules and proclamations of the sanctimommies.
But I have to ask you though, so being that you're living in the Upper East Side of Manhattan, which we know for fact is one of the most expensive neighborhoods in the U.S. to live in, you see this firsthand, do you not? I mean, do you feel sometimes, I mean, is this coming, in other words, was Hannah's story or journey a little bit of personal experience because you live in the neighborhood?
Absolutely. If you try to play that keeping up with the Joneses game in Manhattan, you're going to lose because the Joneses are hedge fund billionaires. And so, like, we can never compete. And so, but luckily, my husband and I are both from families that are not materialistic. Like, we have our apartment and it's fine. Like, we can have 3 kids and it's going to be a little tight, but we don't care. We're not saying like we have to get a bigger thing, we have to get a country house, and we have to get, like, so many people have their eye on the next level all the time that they can never be happy. And it's the same with the mothering, where they're trying to get their kid into this school and then this thing and get these awards and be captain of this team and be the head cheerleader or wherever it is where you're from. But you know, they're always trying to move up in the world, and I think people who are materialistic in New York they'll never be satisfied, just like those mothers will never truly know their kid because they're always just trying to brag about the accomplishments.
So it's good to see that, you know, you're aware of it and you're making light of it in the book. And, you know, making light, I know it's labeled as a dark humor, but yet it's funny, and you're kind of making fun of that whole scene, and that's what's interesting because you get it. Is what the whole point is.
It's meant to be a comedy. When I was pregnant with my first, I was reading these like really tragic 600-page novels, and I would be sitting there crying,
bawling your eyes out.
My husband's like, "What are you doing? I'm hormonal." He's like, "Just stick with Bridget Jones." You know, so I wanted to write books that are like light and funny, that make you laugh on the pillow and are a good break because it's tiring being a mom.
Fantastic. So do you think that there's a chance that the book can go into like a movie or something to that effect? Or a series?
Yes, I'm not allowed to say who, but it's
exclusive.
So it's true. It is exclusive. Yes, they're negotiating it right now.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Jill. It was great.